All right, welcome back. Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, and the websites by plebes. Drop us a like, subscribe. We're going to the numbers. Let's do this. All right, at the time of this recording, the block height is 682,284. The Bitcoin price, 56,410. The chain rewrite days, 625. Total lightning capacity, 1,260.10. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 8.94 sats per dollar. 1,773. Yep. Just another boring day.
Another day channeling, but man, like we reported the other day, Phil, the hash rate has recovered.
Yep.
I'm feeling bullish. What about you, Phil?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling bullish. I was actually going to stack earlier, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait, because I stacked really hard the last dip. Gonna need to pay some bills. Anyways.
Man, Bitcoiners are the worst. So it's like, I need to pay for this poverty.
Because come on, we dipped below that 50K, and I'm like, okay, I'm like getting rid of skin here. Somebody want to buy some skin?
Dude, if you don't have an overdraft fee on your sleeve at this point, you're doing it wrong. Your fiat account should be at zero or negative. Negative.
They are Satan. They are Satan with their overdraft.
Bro, they make billions off of that. It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's such a scam. But okay.
It's such a scam.
Anyways, Phil, It's time for it.
The daily fail. All right. Talking about scams. That kind of led right into this conversation. Okay. So we're going to start this off with a nice tweet from Ragnar. He's not our fail. Okay. Even though he hates me. He's still not our fail. He's a good Bitcoiner, and he does the Bitcoin and Guns podcast, I think. Something like that. I know he does Bitcoin and Guns. I know he has the Bitcoin and Guns website. Anyways. All right. A well-funded, sophisticated company enforcing regulatory compliance. At the point of minting new coins is an attack on Bitcoin's fungibility, liquidity, privacy, censorship resistance. This is an existential threat to Bitcoin. Drop the NGU buffoonery for a while and fight. Yeah, I know. He's always calling to action, right? So, what's he talking about, right? What is he talking about? So look at this. Marapool mined its first clean block. That's a dangerous precedent. What's a clean block? Well, a clean block is apparently something that's gone through that is approved by a regulatory commission. Something like OFAC. All right. So I don't think people really understand what they're trying to do here, but this is very dangerous. Okay. Very dangerous, because right now, when you go spend your money at a store, right, you go and you pay with cash. They don't, they won't go back and say, oh, well, we're not going to actually take this transaction because 75 people ago, somebody bought blow with this. Okay? Like, this is very dangerous. This is disgusting. Forget about just Bitcoin, just in general. This is scary stuff, okay? Who's Mara? Right? Who is this pool? Well, Marathon and DMG create first North American co-op mining pool. Okay, so we can start to see the narrative building, right? Clean blocks. We've got this garbage regulatory commission, which is made up of people who are otherwise just taking your money to do nothing. And comes in Janet Yellen. What's she talking about? One of the ways we can do that is by giving the IRS tools to strengthen compliance. Tools to strengthen compliance. All right, guys, we're going to stop right there because that is just awful. Okay. That is insane. There is no such thing as a clean block. Okay. This is complete, utter garbage. And unfortunately, it is incredibly dangerous. It is nefarious. I wish I could think of all the adjectives I have to describe how disgusting this is. Okay? We have governments that And it's not just here. They don't, nobody, they don't, why don't these entities want freedom? They don't even realize that it hampers their own personal freedom. And yet they coerce and partake in this machine of just like, what is that? Like slavery causing. It's insane. Anyways, fuck these people, okay? They're all part of the fail. I don't believe there's such thing as a clean block, so they can go pound sand on that one.
Man, absolutely.
All right, I'm done.
Absolutely love that. Angry Canadian rants. Amazing.
I just want to give a shout out because Nico went and found all the great details to that, put together the story. So incredible. So, you know,
thanks,
good work,
Phil.
My friend.
Thanks, Phil. But dude, listen. At the end of the day, this is absolutely, you're exactly right, Phil. This is scary. This is a direct attack on Bitcoin. And essentially what they're trying to do, right, is they're trying to force, the gatekeepers are trying to force the old system, the old compliance system on top of Bitcoin directly. So that block essentially excluded any transactions that the Office of Foreign whatever didn't approve of, right? So they're trying to make Bitcoin like the old system. Now, don't get too worried, because they will fail. And the reason they will fail is that the only way that could work is that if you get every single other miner around the world also saying no to those transactions, right? They won't, of course not. But let's say they coerce. Let's say the United States and China, which owns a significant portion of the hash rate, coerces, right, those miners to, be compliant or clean blocks. It doesn't matter, because all it takes is one miner to mine a block that's not compliant, and those non-compliant, dirty transactions are going to be put into the Bitcoin blockchain, and the OF, the office of the OF, whatever, is not going to be able to stop it. So the worst thing that they could do is just delay. They're just delaying the inevitable. They're delaying
people.
It's a scam, dude.
It's a scam. They're just trying to pretend that they have control, that they have... This is the whole thing, is the illusion of control, right? Like, I hate to bring up COVID, but that was the same thing. It's always the illusion of control. It's never real. No one really has control. Sorry.
No, but bro, go at it, man. I love it when you go on your rants. You don't see Canadians angry, right? So for a Canadian to be angry, this must be BS. And I'm telling you...
This is bad, eh?
This is so bad. This is the U.S. government directly attacking Bitcoin. That's exactly what this is. And, Ragnar, maybe he's a little too serious about, don't be too excited about NGU technology. We are. But no, he is right. We should definitely take this seriously. We should fight back. And if you have a miner, choose to run it on a pool that supports freedom. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review.
All right, everybody. So the meme for today is brought to us by @HappyShillmore. Definitely looks like a plebe. He's got the laser eyes. But anyways, let's check out the meme. He's a pleb. Okay.
He's a pleb.
Phil confirmed he's a pleb. He's a pleb. Okay. Unfortunately, everybody, just making sure, bro, because some people put the laser eyes, but they're shit.
I know. I see some shit coiners with laser eyes,
especially with the latest ETH pumps and all that. You saw a lot of ETH people coming out saying, "Oh, I was a Bitcoiner." Anyways, okay. Unfortunately, everybody wants to learn the hard way. Trading shitcoins, working hard, and buying Bitcoin. Man, it's so easy. It's like hard for people for some reason. And because of that, because it's hard, Phil, I'm going to give it a semi-frozen water bottle. Yeah. What about you, my friend?
Water bottles. You always have a good, you always have a good drink of water. It's always ice cold. It's perfect. Till you get to the bottom where it's just kind of nasty. Anyways. Okay. So yeah, I think that's a great meme. Again, it's one of those that doesn't even apply to Bitcoin. You could see it and it'll just, it'll make sense. And I think that there's a lot of truth to it. So you know what? It's a tough score. I am going to go with blue electrical tape.
Ooh.
That's right.
You can never go wrong with that.
Okay.
You can never go wrong with that, dude.
It fixes things. It stretches. I use it for wiring. It's fantastic.
And it's blue because it's usually black. But that one's blue, so it's special.
It's very
crazy.
It's for a special meme.
Yeah. Very special meme. Very special scores for very special memes. Guys, we're changing it up. Yeah. We want to know, do you enjoy our scores? Do you disagree with them? Rate it yourself. Write it down in the comments. Give us a score. Let us know what you think of this meme. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody, the news for today, another Taproot activation. We're going to stay on top of this until we figure out what's going to happen. But anyways, not much of a move from yesterday, Phil. Only 54.77%. Not so good. But Phil,
we were at 54.74 yesterday, so
yeah.
Still is 3%.
It is 3%. You know,
not much. It still looks like the same drawing from yesterday.
Yeah, it needs to be more green. But anyways, we'll cover it. Moving on, Phil. Check out this. Check out this news from the block. Very bullish. I'm going to tell you why it's very bullish. Latin American e-commerce giant Mercado Libre discloses Treasury Bitcoin buy. So not only are they accepting Bitcoin, now they're actually holding Bitcoin. So check it out. We purchased $7.8 million in Bitcoin, a digital asset that we are disclosing within our indefinite lived intangible assets. They're planning to hodl that. Now, why is this a big deal? Probably if you live in the West, you really haven't heard of Mercado Libre. We brought them up. We brought them up yesterday because we wanted to point out that they are one of eBay's main competitors. Right. Mm-hmm. And that they're accepting Bitcoin. We played a video for you guys from the CEO of eBay biting his tongue, saying that they're now going to accept, they're also looking into accepting Bitcoin as well, because they don't have a choice. If Mercado Libre just made this announcement, I bet you at the executive meetings at eBay, they're definitely having conversations, because if they don't add Bitcoin to their assets, they, like we've always said, they're going to be in danger of being left behind, right? Being left behind by the Bitcoin train. So, Phil, am I wrong? Speculate. I know it is a speculation, but we've seen this pattern happen over and over again.
I mean, look, I definitely don't think you're wrong, 100%. Mercado Libre is actually pretty huge. I'm pretty bullish on the fact that they're doing that. That's massive, really. You're right. Very few people here know about Mercado Libre, but if you're a stock, if you're a bit of a stock junkie, then you heard about them quite a few years ago, and they are not to be messed with. They have a vibrant marketplace. They have good earnings. I mean, look, this is just more signs of adoption, and the fact that they specifically listed it as that type of an asset. I mean, come on, these guys are hodlers. Or at least they're showing that they're hodling right now. So,
man,
good for them. Awesome.
Bullish.
Totally
awesome.
Bullish.
So bullish. Another huge company adding Bitcoin to their reserves.
Yep.
Super awesome. But Phil, check this out. The U.S. government, once again, man, they're going after it. They're trying to do these clean blocks, and it looks like they're trying to make a list of Bitcoiners, right? Look, check out this article. It's not really an article. It's a press release by the Justice Department. A federal court in the Northern District of California entered an order today authorizing the IRS to serve a John Doe summons on Payward Ventures and subsidiaries Kraken, seeking information about U.S. taxpayers who conducted at least the equivalent of $20,000 in transactions in cryptocurrencies during the year 2016 and 2020, right? So again, we don't have anything against taxes, right? But this is the government. They did the same thing to Coinbase, Phil. They did the same thing to Gemini. This is the government, right? Collecting a list of people that have, transacted in Bitcoin. And you haven't done anything wrong. This is a Joe Doe. They're assuming that you've done something wrong, right? They have no proof of that you did something wrong. They're just checking anyways, right? This is an overstep. And again, I just want to clarify, we don't have anything against taxes. Like I don't mind paying taxes. The problem is that the government, right, is just casting this wide net and it's just collecting a list. Like, these are the people that have Bitcoiners, because that's essentially what they're doing. And look, if you think we're crazy, I'm going to pull up the Janet Yellen, the secretary, the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's tweet that Phil just went over in the Daily Fail. And look, she's reading it out for herself. So not only are they trying to pass clean blocks, they're also trying to make a list of Bitcoiners, and you haven't done anything wrong, right? They're just doing it anyways. Check this out. Phil already read the first part, but a fully staffed and fully funded IRS is a key piece of our plan to build the country back better, right? And it's saying here how they missed out on $7 trillion in taxes, right? That's
the problem.
They're assuming that you've done something wrong. So it's like, Phil, like, man, it's like they went after Coinbase. They did the same thing. It's a John Doe summons. It's not even towards a direct person. They're just assuming that people haven't paid taxes, man. And it's just like, man, it's being attacked. And we're in the then they fight you stage, Phil. Like, that's clear. It's clear, man. But it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Definitely gonna be entertaining. Let's see what happens, Phil.
I think it's just total mental fuckery that they sit there and come up with this BS of like, oh, we missed out on $7 trillion of taxes.
Like, how do they know that?
So like, number one, how do you know that? Number two, you print money. You print money. Like, stop pretending. Like, why do you keep pretending? This is like somebody showing up like outside. No joke. This is like somebody showing up to a business completely naked, and they're the only ones that don't know that they're naked. Everyone else is like, you're not wearing any clothes. But these people are just pretending. They just keep going, and it's just absolutely psychotic. And yeah, you know what? They can sit there and they can go track all this stuff. You know what it is? At the end of the day, they cannot force you to hand over your Bitcoin. Yeah, sure, they can jail people and they can do stuff like that. You know what? I think they're going to be very surprised as to what happens, because you're going to have people. You are going to have people that are going to take a stand. People really want monetary freedom. You know how we know that? We're here talking about Bitcoin, and it's sitting at 56K per coin. Doesn't matter what the price is. The price is a representation of all of the energy and all of the energy and damn it, I hate that. The energy and the infrastructure that has gone into Bitcoin. So we are here because we're tired of this current system. And this is exactly it. I mean, look at that. They can't even find a way to bring you fucking value. Like, we can't provide population value, but what can we do? Well, we can go and hire more people to collect more taxes for shit that we think is wrong. Like, you know what? It's just so disgusting.
It is
really sad.
It is, man. It's disgusting. And it's like we're not even complaining about taxes.
No,
right? It's like that's not what we're complaining about. It's like the problem is it's like this overreaching thing. It's like, why do you get to see that if no one committed a crime? It's like you're collecting massive amounts of data, which we know you can't keep securely because of all the hacks, right? And it's like, man, it's unjust. That's what we're talking about.
They can't keep the data secure. Number one. Number two, they can't keep their own house in order. Okay? We have all kinds of government problems. I mean, everybody or a lot of people pay attention to the elections, right? We can see what's going on. We can see what's going on with different responses. We can see the fact that everything is dictated by mainstream media. The other thing is that the government has never been able to turn a profit. They print money and they can't even figure out a way to turn a profit. That means that every single business unit that they run, right? I know they're going to call it a service. It's not a business. Yes, it is. They can't even turn a profit because nobody gives a shit. No one is accountable. No one there is accountable. And we're supposed to trust them. And now all of a sudden they're going to go and get even more of these tax collectors to come knocking at your door. They're already incompetent and they've proved their incompetence.
Man, it looks like there's going to be a lot of boating accidents. That's all.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of boating accidents, and there's going to be a lot of people that just say, fuck you.
Exactly. It's exactly what Michael Saylor said, man. And you're absolutely right. But check this out, Phil. Square absolutely crushed it. Square Bitcoin revenue grows 11% times year over. Sounds like Bitcoin. Cashapp generated $3.51 billion in Bitcoin revenue and $75 million of Bitcoin gross profit during the first quarter of 2021. And Dylan, and a Bitcoin Zoomer plebe, had this awesome tweet. In the first quarter of 2021, 924 Bitcoin was mined per day. 3.77 billion of new Bitcoin supply was mined. Cashapp users bought almost all of it at 3.51. You guys could surmise what this means. Basic supply and demand means if there's more demand than there is supply, the price tends to go green. Right. But yeah, man, Phil, they absolutely crushed it. And yesterday we were talking about how US banks were beginning to want to offer buying and selling paper Bitcoin to their clients. And the reason for that is simple. They see all of that money coming out of Square. Wow. Square, an app, is making $75 billion just selling Bitcoin. If you're Venmo, you can no longer ignore it. That's why PayPal got in, right? If you're a bank, you can't ignore it. That's why the banks got in. It's incentives. They can't resist it. They hate it, but they can't resist it because they're public companies. They're accountable to their shareholders. If their shareholders are seeing that from Square, it's like, why aren't you guys doing that? It's because you don't like Bitcoin? You know, it's like, man, I love this thing. It's a black hole, man. It's sucking everything in. Phil?
Yeah, man. So I just, as you were mentioning that, I had to go take a look at the Square stock price, right? Because 11 times earnings year over year, that is massive for Square. And I go take a look and there's like barely a bump. It's like, it's up $5.73 in after hours trading, 2.56% on the day. I mean, anyways, I'm not telling people to go and buy Square, but I'm just saying I would have kind of expected a way bigger bump up in the price. Maybe tomorrow it trades higher, who knows? But yeah, I think, look, to your point, you know, this is gonna kind of stick. It's gonna be salty for these banks now because that's $3.51 billion that went into Square that just made Square much stronger. I mean, don't get me wrong, for the people that are buying Bitcoin on Square, I wonder how many of them are all of a sudden going to decide to go through their bank when their bank offers it. I would, one could argue very few people will switch over. There's something about once you get used to using something. I don't know. I think that banks, I think that banks should have been, a little bit more. I mean, we're still early, but yeah, they have a lot of catching up to do with Square. You know, their user experience has come a long way. They've added a lot of functionality to that app. And yeah, good luck to the banks. Good luck. I mean, I know they're big. I know they have their network effects. I know they have their way of pushing things. So let the games begin. Let the
best person win. Absolutely. Yep. Man, but it's Phil. So much has happened just in this 1 month. So much bullish news.
Look, I have no hair left.
And I'm starting to lose mine. Freaking epic. But shut up, Bill. But maybe.
Nobody can see what's back here.
Oh my God. Okay.
Or what's not.
There was a website by Plebe today. Why don't you show everybody?
Websites by Plebes. All right, everyone. So our website was shitcoinery.com. But the problem is that, and I'm gonna show it to everybody in a second. Well, it's not really a problem. It's more just like a solution to a problem. You go to shitcoinery.com, and lo and behold, we go to BlockFi's Twitter. So shout out to whoever did that. Thank you. That's fun. I like it. Let's not forget, BlockFi is a shitcoin house. So yeah. You don't need to buy things through them. You don't need to use their services. You could use other companies like Unchained Capital, or River Financial, or other people that are not shilling shitcoins and pretending that they love Bitcoin.
And rehypothecating.
Oh, yes, and rehypothecating. My bad. The list is so long, you tend to forget.
Man, but that link was definitely created by a plebe, for sure.
Yeah, that is a pleb created. So if you're a pleb that watches this show and you're the one that made that, post in the comments, or when we throw out the tweet tomorrow, post in the tweet that you're the you're the shitcoiner, the shitcoinery.com creator.
Man,
we can give you props.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
Epic, dude. Shout out to you. That was a great, phenomenal idea. Yep. Absolutely hilarious. But anyways, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Smash it. Smash it. Smash it. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the news from the Bitcoin perspective and the catastrophic fiat and shitcoin fails, definitely consider subscribing, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.